Phil, you want to talk with Phil? I met Phil 20 years ago, and I made a rookie mistake. I was 23. I just started my career in this game, and I made this mistake. Cynicism and also professionalism wouldn't allow me to make it then subsequently in my career, in that I asked for Phil's signature. Because I was obsessed with Phil Mickelson as a player. So I met him at the Open and I just asked for his signature, and I kind of walked away feeling quite small.
Did he say no?
He did it, but it was kind of he kind of almost laughed and said, "Thank you, sir," because I went up in a kind of meek way and asked him for his signature. So.
And did he know you were a journalist?
I don't think so, no.
Right.
No. So I was a little bit, never meet your heroes is the phrase, isn't it? But yeah, no, Phil has been the most exciting golfers of this generation. Like he won 6 majors, played the game in such a swashbuckling, gambling way. But things have seemed to go wrong in the last while, and it's amazing how somebody can fall from grace from winning the PGA Championship last year at the age of 50, becoming the oldest major winner in the world, to being effectively now having to take a break from the sport for his own head. I thought what Rory McIlroy said the other day was absolutely fascinating. I don't want to kick a man when he's down, and then he absolutely went off the top rope like a wrestler. And that said a lot to me about maybe the way Phil is viewed in the locker room.
Definitely, it's open season now and people are coming out and... So
this is what Phil said last week. They're scary bleep about the Saudis. To Alan Chipnook of the Firepit Collective, we know they killed Jamal Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all this, why would I even consider it? Because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. The following days, then you had the deluge of people going the opposite way. Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, all committing their futures to the PGA Tour. So Phil Mickelson comes out then with this statement last night. Although it doesn't look this way now, given my recent comments, my actions throughout this process have always been with the best interest of golf, my peers, sponsors and fans. There is the problem with off-the-record comments being shared out of context without my consent, but the bigger issue is that I use words I sincerely regret that do not reflect my true feelings or intentions. It was reckless, I offended people, I'm deeply sorry for my choice of words, I'm beyond disappointed, will make every effort to self-reflect and learn from this. I go on. The past 10 years though, I felt pressure and stress slowly affecting me at a deeper level. I know I've not been at my best and desperately need some time away to prioritise the ones I love most and work on being the man I want to be. Now, Alan Chipnook, who's got this book coming out, I've never been as excited about a book, apart from my own book, as I'm going to be about this book that Alan Chipnook brings out in May, about the unauthorised biography of Phil. And Alan Chipnook vehemently, who's a respected reporter, says those comments were on the record. They were not off the record. There was no discussion of them being off the record. Also, Phil adds here, my experience with Live Golf Investments, this is the Saudis, Greg Norman, has been very positive. I apologise for anything I said that was taken out of context. The specific people I've worked with are visionaries and have only been supportive. So, yeah. This thing has just completely crashed and burned, and there's a degree of feeling maybe out there with Phil that Phil sometimes want to be the smartest guy in the room, and on this occasion he hasn't been.
Obviously you've seen Chipnook's tweets this morning, obviously vehemently denying that it was off the record. He's updated a piece on the Firepit Collective saying that he sent me a text on the morning the excerpt dropped. He was less than thrilled. Just as in the statement he released on Thursday, Phil made a half-hearted attempt at revisionist history, trying to say our talk had been a private conversation, but I shut that down real quick. He knew I was working on a book about him and asked to speak, saying he wanted to discuss media rights and his grievances with the PGA Tour, both of which inevitably led back to Saudi. If the subject of a biography phones the author, the content of that conversation is always going to inform the book unless it is expressly agreed otherwise. And he says not once in our text or when we got on the phone did Phil request to go off the record, and I never consented to it. If he had asked, I would have pushed back hard, as this was obviously material I wanted for the book. And he says Mickelson simply called him and opened up a vein. To claim now that the comments were off the record is false and duplicitous. So he is not having this.
I don't care about the row about the on the record, off the record. To be honest, for me that's all inside baseball stuff. The bit where people are shocked by what Mickelson said, it's not shocking at all that Mickelson said this. What it does is it completely reveals several different things, and it's a bit nuanced, because the PGA Tour probably are not a good bunch of people. Like the PGA Tour as an organisation have probably not treated the golfers the way the golfers deserve to be treated. There is merit in Mickelson looking to disrupt what the PGA Tour, how they have behaved, how they have amassed money for themselves on the basis of being able to put on an event, when actually the only reason anybody wants to watch the event is because Tiger and Phil and Rory and DJ and Bryson and whoever is there. Like, the power should be with the entertainers. The power should be with the creators. Instead, the power is with the record label pressing out the 1 cent record that they're charging 20 quid for. Like, all of the money is being generated and isn't being redistributed. Now, it's being redistributed a bit more, and it's hard to make the case for multimillionaires to get more, but it's not just the multimillionaires, it's the guys who are struggling to make the cut, who actually never make money from golf, but who are there and who are entertaining stories themselves. So the bones of that, that's all true. How they chose to go about it, by getting into bed with the Saudis, when he says they know, and everybody else knows about what the Saudi regime are up to, that's fascinating, because it's the greed revealed. It's the we will do absolutely anything to help ourselves to get what we want. And that is at the heart of most capitalism. Let's face it, that is exactly how people think when it comes to making money. That's what the greed is good. That is Gordon Gekko. It doesn't really matter. Nothing matters apart from us getting what we want. I don't really care about what happened to Jamal Khashoggi. I don't really care about what happens to gay people getting executed. That's what he's saying when he's saying I'm going to use these people, the Saudis, to get what I want. It's like, it's just how leverage works. It's just business. And you know what? There's a lot of America that's gone, well, Phil, you shouldn't have got caught, but like, I like your chutzpah. And that's why this is very interesting. And what plays out over the next period of time is going to be interesting, because the Saudi investors aren't going to go away.
Well, they bought into the Asian Tour, as I said last week on the show. They put a huge amount of money into the Asian Tour, which is world ranking points, and that's going to be there for... They're not going away. MBS, does he go away? I don't think so. The thing with Phil is, though, Phil has always been the apple pie guy. You know, he's been the smiling guy, he's been the people's champion, he's been the Arnold Palmer of our contemporary age, with Tiger Woods all cold and aloof, and now it looks like the whole thing has flipped. But people have short memories, and I think the reaction to Phil from his fans will not waver, because Phil is hugely popular in America. And I think people, as I said, have short memories. If Tiger Woods can come back from what he came back from, Phil can come back from this.
Look, we're way over time in this, but it is time for virtual insanity.
You have entered Power Drive. Oh, wow!
Where are we going this week? How did we go on last week?
Tied for 10th, tied for 13th, tied for 15th. Nothing.
Hit the crossbar.
Hit the crossbar. You're talking about guys who struggle, and that's generally how I'm tipping in these virtual insanity things. Look, I was off yesterday, so I've literally just, these are very hot. I've just decided on these. I haven't read the article yet. The article's going to go up in the next couple of hours on OTBSports.com and on the OTB app to kind of justify, to rationale what I'm doing here, right? For the Honda Classic, Porter Carrington's won it before, starts in Florida tomorrow at PGA National on the Bermuda grass, bit of wind blowing, the Bear Trap, par 70, really, really tough course. Here we go. So Keith Mitchell, 350 each way. Keith Mitchell, 33-1, has won this tournament before and is playing really well recently. Keith Mitchell, in the last few starts, hits the ball really, really well off the tee. He's going to be a star, I think, this year, Keith Mitchell. He's the headline tip for 350 each way. 33-1. 3 each way, Tommy Fleetwood at 28-1, overpriced. 2 years ago in the slot, I tipped Tommy Fleetwood in this at 12-1. He's now 28-1. I think he's coming back into form. I think a win in America could finally happen for Tommy Fleetwood soon. He played well in Saudi, played well in Dubai. I think he's coming back into the groove, Tommy Fleetwood, who's been 3rd and 4th in this before. 28-1 for 3 each way. 3 each way, Denny McCarthy at 50-1. The best putter on tour in 2019-2020, is hitting the ball better now, has played well on the west coast of America, was 3rd in this last year. Denny McCarthy, you've got taste, at 50-1 for 3 each way. And then the outsiders, I'm going to pick 3 of them. At 100-1, Grayson Sigg for 150 each way. At 150-1, Vince Whaley for €1.50 each way. And at 200-1, Nick Hardy for €1.50 each way. An outsider might win this. Not many of the world's top players in it. Joaquin Neiman's in it, but he won last week. He's got all the media duties. So Nick Hardy, Vince Whaley, Grayson Sigg, but the top 3, Denny McCarthy, Tommy Fleetwood, and the headliner is Keith Mitchell, to get some each way bread this week on Virtual Insanity.
All right, good stuff, John.